One Zambia, one nation. Thank you so much for joining us on this bulletin of Zanis News. To present it, I'm Michelle Olubinda. The headlines. Government committed to enhance bilateral relations with Tanzania. 2.7 million kwacha disbursed to 20 individuals, business groups in Kasama Central Constituency. Parents challenged to educate children on self-control. And Vice President officiates at a friendly match of Copper Queens against Tanzania. The news in detail. Government has reaffirmed its commitment to enhancing bilateral relations with Tanzania. Minister of Transport and Logistics Permanent Secretary Frederick Mwalusaka says the two countries will continue engaging each other in coming up with sustainable solutions of improving operations on the Kapirimposhi-Dar es Salaam corridor. Mr. Mwalusaka was speaking in Dunduma during a road transport bilateral meeting to resolve challenges that obstruct the smooth flow of transit trucks and trade. Henry Lumpa now reports.
In a bid to improve border operations and transport management on the Kapirimposhi-Dar es Salaam corridor, delegates from both Zambia and Tanzania have held bilateral meetings to come up with resolutions on various issues surrounding the border towns for both countries. The meeting, which was in Tunduma, Tanzania, was held successfully with the Zambian delegation led by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Logistics Frederick Mwalusaka and Information and Media Permanent Secretary Kennedy Kalunga. Mr. Mwalusaka highlighted on the resolutions made between the two sister countries and further reaffirmed government's commitment in enhancing bilateral relations with the neighboring country.
I wish to reiterate Zambia's commitment to ensuring that whatever challenges we have on the Dar es Salaam corridor, we commit ourselves to the solutions and resolutions that have been made in this meeting.
And Transport and Works Permanent Secretary from Tanzania, Gabriel Mugire, also emphasized on the implementation of the agreed resolutions from the meeting.
It has been a fruitful meeting. We should all accept that. We agreed on a number of issues, and we hope that they are going to be implemented as agreed.
Meanwhile, Information and Media Permanent Secretary Kenneth Kalunga said government's high regard of international trade is demonstrated through these bilateral meetings.
We are grateful that both countries have the common understanding as brother, sister, including all of us, the citizens of both countries, that we can sit down and look at the bottlenecks that are affecting the transportation of goods and services.
Among other resolutions made in the meeting was also the beefing up of staff for the Zambia Revenue Authority. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Tunduma, Tanzania.
In Central Province, Cabo District Commissioner Lennox Chimwambwa has called on the local authority to expedite works on the Constituency Development Fund CDF-funded projects in Bwacha constituency. Mr. Chimwambwa, who checked on CDF projects at Buseko and Shekaina primary schools, says projects should be completed and handed over to within the shortest period time. Details in this report.
A good learning atmosphere is key in improving the quality of education in a learning environment. Government, through the increased Constituency Development Fund, aims to achieve this feat and is keen to see to it that projects are delivered on time.
My appeal to the local authorities is that we need to speed up commissioning of projects in Bwacha constituency. Something I've noticed. Cabo Central, we are moving. Bwacha, we are dragging a little bit. I think that's why now my office is also here to check, to ensure that all these little projects, which are remaining with 5–10%, we're just coming from Shekinah Glory there, also to see. We are moving very steadily and systematically. We want to avoid these bottlenecks. The Presidential Delivery Unit is very clear. Provincial Delivery Unit is very clear what they want to see. Ourselves as a district is to make sure that these little bottlenecks or these glitches are clear. So I want to reassure you, Head and Deputy, here to say that we shall be breathing on the local authority, Engineering Department, Accounts Department, and Procurement.
Buseko Primary School head teacher says CDF is a game changer for learning institutions.
To government that when people say there is no CDF, for us we say, we even ask them and say, come to Buseko, we shall tell you where CDF is. because we are the beneficiaries of CDF. We had the challenge of the toilets, so that's why we went through and sat, and then we requested that we build a new ablution block. So this new ablution block, actually, it came to us and is almost done. We are quite grateful to the government for that gesture that they gave us.
And at Shekinah Glory Primary School, power will soon be connected among other projects.
We had applied for 3 projects. One, the electrification, which was passed. Then the ablution, because we do not have the ablution from the time government took over this school from the community. And equally, even that one, we need to appreciate government through CDF. They have approved it. Then we are just waiting for the approval of the 1x3 classroom box, because from the time the government decided to start the free education, there's been overwhelming enrollment.
For government, food delivery of these projects is top on its agenda.
This school or this project for electrification under CDF
Yes.
is one of those projects that are deliverable in my office.
Correct.
I've set targets. Targets are set
Yes.
on CDF projects. As you may be aware, there's a presidential delivery unit
Exactly.
now, which has cascaded down to provincial delivery units,
Yes, sir.
and soon to district delivery units.
Okay.
So we are basically just going around to appreciate the CDF projects,
Okay.
how they are benefiting the members of the public.
Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
Kasama Municipal Council in Northern Province has disbursed over 2.7 million kwacha to 20 individuals and business groups in Kasama Central constituency under the 2022 Constituency Development Fund loan component. And Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu has challenged beneficiaries to use the funds to spearhead development. Geoffrey Peary gives us more in the following report.
Access to affordable financing remains the biggest challenge that small and medium enterprises face in growing their businesses. This is why government introduced a loan component under the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) to enable individuals and groups access cheaper loans to grow their businesses. 20 groups and individuals in Kasama Central constituency have since been given empowerment loans amounting to over 2.7 million kwacha.
The government has given, without any attachment, 5% locked, no other conditions. The ball is in your court. Let us prove, government, that we can do it, and let this community be a different story.
Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu was represented by Kasama District Commissioner Elizabeth Goma at a presentation of the dummy checks to beneficiaries.
Through CDF, local communities can be the drivers of their own change and bring about development to their local areas. I want to urge all the beneficiaries to make good use of the empowerment loans and ensure that the loans are paid back in time to give opportunities for others to also access the loans. I strongly urge you to use these loans to grow your businesses and to contribute to job creation.
Kasama Deputy Mayor Peter Muvanga emphasized the need for beneficiaries to stick to their proposals.
If you applied for chicken rearing, please go for that. And fish farming, go for fish farming. So that to help abantu beswa babanki na council.
Meanwhile, beneficiaries have promised to use the money prudently.
Many people have pledged to be faithful in paying back the loan, because what we received was not a grant, it was a loan, and as such we are all obliged to pay back this loan so that as a revolving fund it will benefit others.
Beneficiaries were given financial literacy lessons on how to manage finances. Geoffrey Piri, reporting for Zanis in Kasama District.
In Western Province, government has urged schools in Nalolo District to utilize the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) to finance production unit projects. Speaking during the launch of the production units for schools in Nalolo district, Acting District Commissioner Trust Chingala says schools should apply for CDF using the established channels to fund the various innovations. We have more in the following report.
Most schools in the country have started implementing the production units policy. Sianda Combined School in Nalolo district is one such school that has taken production activities seriously. This came to light when acting Nalolo District Commissioner Trust Chingala toured the activities at the school. Mr. Chingala, who later graced the launch of production units for schools in the district held at Moyo Primary School, urged the learning institutions to utilize the CDF to fund production unit projects.
The UPND government has increased the CDF from 1.6 million to 28 million. As schools, we have every right to partake of this national cake. Let us apply through established channels and get our share in order to finance these various innovations which will make our schools resourceful financially.
Speaking at the same event, Juliet Ndala from Moyo Primary School disclosed what the school will focus on.
I'm going to inform you that as a Moyo Primary School, we will focus on core productivity, retail, dark shop, and we will run a restaurant.
Nalolo District Education Board Secretary Victor Likezo said, production units will also enable learners sustain themselves after school.
When you look at nutrition, they do the cookery there. They can open their restaurants. It can also help to make money for the school as a form of fundraising.
Meanwhile, acting Nalolo District Agricultural Coordinator Laila Gondwe encouraged schools to participate at the forthcoming District Agricultural and Commercial Show.
I just want to encourage the schools to come and showcase what they have at the Agricultural and Commercial Show, because some parents do not even know what their children are doing, and they don't even know how to do certain things. So when they learn from their children, it will be easier seeing. When somebody sees something, it's easier to learn.
Reporting for Zanis News in Nalolo District of Western Province, I'm Sandisiwe Mpofu.
Still in Western Province, the Progressive Educators Union of Zambia, PEU's Vice President Messi Mianda has bemoaned reckless borrowing of money by teachers in Mongu District of Western Province. Speaking during the appointment of PEU's Executive Committee members, Ms. Mianda says overborrowing by teachers has affected learning sessions negatively. More in the following report by Rogers Fiabiba.
Borrowing money from a financial institution may be a convenient solution at times as it helps cushion financial burdens. Unfortunately, some teachers and other government workers in Western Province have developed the tendency of borrowing irresponsibly. And this situation has not occurred well with Progressive Educator Union of Zambia Vice President Messi Mianda.
Teachers need to be sensitized on how they are carrying out their activities. In terms of borrowing, they have overborrowed such that teaching has even become boring. They are absenting themselves from work because of the heavy monies they are having from the financial institutions, who are even negotiating with them without entering on their pay slip, but they are given that money. As a result, at the end of the day, the one who is suffering is the pupil class, because they think there is nothing they are working for. At the end of the month, they are not getting anything. We are punishing an innocent child and even affecting the performance of the children in the province. As a result, we need to work extra hard as unions. Since we are major stakeholders to the government, we need to put that to an end and improve the learning performance of the pupils in the province.
The newly appointed Western Province Progressive Educator Union of Zambia Secretary Justin Muda is equally concerned about the matter.
Western Province performance has gone down, and much of it has been attributed to the teacher performance. Teachers abscond work, and if a teacher is able to abscond work, which means that even the pupils can follow suit. Teachers were educators and we are role models, and now that's what we want to enhance. We want to enhance to make sure that every teacher loves his job or her job. Every teacher should be there at work to do exactly what they are trained for. One of the reasons that we have discovered is what makes teachers to abscond, or why teachers they are finding themselves in leakages, is because of lack of finances. Much of their pay slips are already dated by borrowing.
Rogers Fairper reporting for Zanis in Limong District of Western Province.
In Eastern Province, the implementation of free education by government is still recording success in Mambwe District. Some beneficiaries, who mainly include widows, have appreciated government for ensuring children from less privileged families are not denied a chance to attain an education. Meanwhile, a head teacher at Chiutika Primary School has confirmed that learners who come from households benefiting from programs like social cash transfer no longer face challenges with acquiring school requirements like uniforms and books. More in the following report.
As young as they may seem today, these children hold the future of the nation. As such, laying a good foundation for their development and ultimately that of the country is a priority to government. At Chutika Primary School in Mambwe District, the head teacher shared how government interventions like the implementation of free education and social protection programs like social cash transfer are benefiting some learners.
They've been given free education, but sometimes you find that they do not have the books. So some parents who are benefiting from social cash transfer, definitely they are doing little businesses, and then from the little they're able to buy books for their kids. And with such, it's rare that we're having cases of a child has no books. It's rare.
And some guardians who are on the social cash transfer program shared these testimonies.
Lomba kuli free education kwa nikatoa ndama ya social fare mukwanirisha kugulira ko bana tumabuku ku skulu mukwanirisha chakula chikashitira panganda bati bana bakaluta ku skulu nikalandira soti 400 kwacha yangu nicho sapo nagulako katekwa kambuzi nagulako nateka olopano punu kamba lomba niliko na tumbuzi tokwanira mkola yangu lomba tukwa nako 10 olobana bansiwa banyinji bakuti makolo yao yose mwalira tuona kuti ati mwana ula ali ku skulu social transfer yani thandiza kulingana tu bana makolo yao pechi fa twenze tung'ono pezeve nyumba niambira kuchaisha cherwa na chaisha cherwa next ni kugula malata huko kanganda ni manga ero pano punu kamba nina business pa nyumba loko kuyofufuza kanene kuti pa masango umani pati kwa maulidi so bana banga umphawi hawe unasira so nthokoza boma chiuchita ipitirije
makamaka kumbali kulia wazimaya kuti analume wao bemwalira yakwanisha kutiavya kumbali zonena kuti bana kuya ku skulu free education itipeza koma soti social cash transfer yabayavya zimaenda wakulira kwa chepako pakuti papenzo ganizira kuti weve asake social cash transfer yuwayavya nopitirijapo kunena kuti lomba bana pakine bali ku maskulu.
As long as government continues to sustain these programs, the future of these children will be guaranteed. Abigail Kashweka, Zanis in Mambwe.
Mbala District Education Board Secretary has encouraged parents to talk to children about the dangers of early marriage and teen pregnancies. Wilfred Chalara says this will help learners, especially girl children, to concentrate in school. The DEP said this in an interview with Zanis shortly after conducting a sensitization meeting with the community organized by the Campaign for Female Education, CAMFED. And CAMFED coordinator for Mbala, Luwingu and Senga, Doris Muyuka, explained that her organization's primary focus is on rural girls. She explained that CAMFED aims to break the cycle of poverty that persists within communities. Meanwhile, CAMFED Association chairperson, Kama Penelope Nambela, shared her personal success story and highlighted the association's efforts to support girls in staying in schools.
They never wanted to indulge themselves in human relationships. Are we together? Yes. As they were giving a sensitization to the community, that let the community support the girl child. Let the community support the learners be in school. Because when we do that, then we'll have an enlightened community, we'll have the learners that are going to do well.
focus is on the rural girls and young women in rural areas. The vision is to see the girls are supported, they are educated, respected and protected, so that they can grow to intend to break the stride of poverty in the community.
Asante sana. Kile vile tuwapate okulinkwapo ngama pasta kulanyunkwa. Then tunapata okuchita preach marketing. Okuti ati tarafuyo okuti abana. Omulendo okuti ati ya the future leader.
We do a lot of activities. Some are sensitizations, charity work and other. So the things that we are doing right now as Kama members, we are making sure that people who are dropping out, the pupils that are dropping out from school, goes back to school, and we ensure that they stay in school.
And police in Masaiti district on the Copperbelt province has arrested a 36-year-old man for sodomizing his stepdaughter. Anderson Kayole of Kamperembe area in Kayole village of Chief Malembeka's chiefdom in Mpongwe district is alleged to have sodomized his 6-year-old stepdaughter against the order of nature. Copperbelt Province Police Commanding Officer Piswo Mwemba explained that the suspect had a marital dispute with his wife Rebecca Chiwili, 40, who led to her eventually leaving home and leaving her daughter with the husband. He said it was at this point that Kayole took advantage of the girl and sodomized her on 2 different occasions and warned the victim not to disclose the incidents to anyone. The victim is reported to have sneaked from home and went to inform her aunt, Evelyn Kayole, about the ordeal, who also informed the Community Crime Prevention Unit. Mr. Mwemba said the victim was issued with a medical report form and rushed to St. Teresa Mission Hospital, where she is admitted and is in stable condition. He said the suspect has since been arrested and detained at Masaiti Police Station. So in the news, the National Council for Construction, NCC, has warned of stern action against contractors who will not adhere to the 3 pillars when undertaking construction works. NCC Board Chairperson Vitalis Moya says the institution, which is mandated to promote and regulate the construction industry, will ensure that the guidance given by government is strictly adhered to. He was speaking in Kasama when he led officials from NCC in holding sensitization meetings with stakeholders and in inspecting several CDF projects which are being undertaken by the council. Details in the following report.
The Constituency Development Fund, CDF, remains a notable aspect which government is using to actualize the implementation of the decentralization agenda, as it is empowering the citizenry to participate in matters within their vicinities. The National Council for Construction, NCC, is determined to be part of the decentralization process and has assured stakeholders in Mongwe district of its support. NCC Board Chairperson Vitalis Moya and his team were in the district to inspect some projects and interact with stakeholders.
We need everyone on board at the level of Zambia. Like Dawa summed it up. We need economic independence now. I think this is the right time. That's why we're here, not from the top. And that's why they're decentralized, especially CDF. Almost everything, and this is the approach. We come here, you see us so often, NCC.
Mongwe Council Chairperson Grace Chomba highlighted the importance of the NCC's presence in the district.
Being in Lusaka, it's not a privilege for us, even when we CDF. We have builders, we have engineers. They are very, very good builders around. But because they don't have those certificates and they can't manage to have those qualifications.
Meanwhile, Mongwe District Administrative Officer Vincent Piri also shared his thoughts with the team.
My appeal, Chair, is to decentralize up to the district level. If you delay, other people move fast, but you must move fast. And allow your members down at the district level And then they work with the ones.
Ntazanga Mumba for Zanis in Mongwe District.
Central Province Permanent Secretary Miuna Monakampwe has warned the Ngawe chiefdom royal family, which is currently entangled in the succession dispute, to stop illegal selling of land in the absence of a substantive chief. Mr. Monakampwe says in the absence of the substantive chief, all land transactions in the chiefdom will be deemed illegal. We bring you the details in this report.
The succession wrangle in Chief Ngawe's chiefdom of Ngawe district in Central Province has deepened following the throne being vacant for 5 years now. About 7 members of the royal family are fighting to take over the throne. Some of them have taken advantage of the absence of a substantive chief by illegally selling out huge chunks of land. Central Province Permanent Secretary Miuna Monakampwe, who was in Ngawe, has warned that the law will not spare anyone found selling land illegally.
In Ngawe, from the time His Royal Highness died, there are headmen who are allocating parcels of land. Before we do anything, we have come to educate each other. Those that are selling land before there is a chief, they don't blame this man when he moves in with his men.
Mr. Monakampwe has also appealed to Chief Mukuwe to help his brother to ensure that a right chief is installed.
And headmen are busy giving land there without a substantive chief. So we thought we meet with the headmen and also Your Royal Highness to just say that courts will never resolve issues. Those that are taking each other to court, they are brothers. If they sat as a family, then from there they choose a leader. Government would be more than glad, and we are pleading on that score that if there's anything you can do to your brother chiefdom across, please, Mr. President is pleading that you try your level best to talk to those people who are pulling each other. Courts will take a lot of time, and what happens when there's no substantive chief, there's no order.
Central Province Police Commanding Officer David Chireshe has warned that police will not sit idle and see people take the law into their hands.
And then other people are taking advantage of the absence of authority to sell land. I am here sent by the Republic of Zambian government to tell you that it is illegal. And when I come here, I will throw you in jail for 25 years or 30 years. We are going to come and camp here, and we are going to disband this village. We can remove all of you and turn this place into a park. That is what government can do.
For Zanis, I'm Simeon Mbewe in Ngawe District, Central Province.
Sports news. Vice President Mtalena Lumango was among hundreds of soccer fans that cheered the Copper Queens in a friendly match against Tanzania national women's football team played at the Woodland Stadium in Lusaka. The Copper Queens took on the Twig Stars in a send-off match before flying to Europe for an international training camp ahead of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. The Copper Queens used the friendly match as part of the preparation for their maiden appearance at the FIFA Women's World Cup to be held in Australia and New Zealand from next month, July 20th to August 20th.
With less than 50 days to go before the FIFA Women's World Cup slated for Australia and New Zealand, the Copper Queens have intensified preparations for the World Cup maiden appearance. The Copper Queens squared off against the Tanzania national women's football team in a send-off match that was played at Woodland Stadium in Lusaka, where they beat the Twiga Stars by 1-0. Vice President Mtalena Lumango and Sports Minister Elvis Nkandu graced the match to cheer the Copper Queens. In a post-match interview, Coach Bruce Mwape said the team had put up a good performance despite a few elapses which will be worked on before the World Cup.
They are planned because if you saw the way they were defending, they were actually defending in numbers. So as a result, they made it very difficult for our strikers to penetrate, especially in the first half. The second half, I think we had...
And skipper Barbara Banda says Tanzania gave the team a good run, while goal scorer Comfort Seleman says she's motivated to do better.
It's a good team and it's not a pushover team. We've played Tanzania a couple of times. These are the only results. We win 1-2-1, and before the game we knew that we have a tough game, but as Copper Queens we really worked together as a team, and at the end of the day we tried to find a goal.
Happy. I wasn't expecting this because this was my first game to play the senior team, so I'm very excited.
The Copper Queens are scheduled to fly out to Europe for an international training camp and series of friendly matches before making a maiden appearance at the Women's World Cup. Audrey Kalenga, Zanis Sports, Lusaka.
About 6 professionals and amateur golfers have converged at Kawe Golf Clubs to compete in the 2 days 2023 Kawe Open Golf Championship. Zanis staffer Daniel Billy filed in this report.
This weekend, all eyes have turned to Kawe as Kawe Golf Club hosts the 2023 Kawe Open Golf Tournament. Over 60 professional and amateur golfers have registered for participation for the 2-day tournament that has seen Zambia Railways, Calabash Freight, Railroad Logistics and Zambia Golf Union emerging as sponsors. Kawe Golf Club Vice Honorary Secretary Denmark Mulambo confirms the participation and sponsorship.
We expect about 60 players across the country. We've got some players as far as coming from Umbala, coming from Azabuka, and across the country. We have 4 sponsors at the moment, actually 5. Calabash Freight, Zambia Railways, Reload Logistics, and the Zambia Golf Union. These, if you look at the type of sponsors we have, are all coming from the Copper Belt. So I'm appealing to our business partners around Kawe to join in and be part of the sponsors for an event like this one.
Mr. Mlambo has appealed to youths to work towards gaining experience in the sport.
Golf has been thought of to be a sport for elderly people, but this is a sport that also has accommodation for young people. Actually, we start at a very tender age, so I'm appealing to the youths to start playing golf, and it's a very good sport for discipline.
Green Buffalo's Msambarumpa has his eyes on turning a professional golfer and participating in the PGA Tour.
This is my second time playing the Kawe Open, and I'm so excited to be here. This time around, because my swing it's in form nowadays, so I'll do much better now compared to last year. My target is to become a professional golfer, to compete the PGA Tour.
Daniel Billy for Zanis Sports in Kawe, Central Province.
Still on sports, Kasama District Commissioner Elizabeth Goma has expressed concern with the continued delays to complete works at the Kasama Sports Stadium. The District Commissioner expressed her displeasure when she graced the 2022-2023 end-of-season sports award ceremony held in Kasama. More in this report.
These are football coaches, referees and players in Northern Province who have been recognized for their hard work in the just-ended 2022-2023 season. The Football Association of Zambia FAZ in Northern Province held these first-ever awards to recognize sportsmen and women who excelled in their field. Kasama District Commissioner Elizabeth Goma, who graced the award ceremony, encouraged FAZ to work with the Ministry of Sports to complete construction works at Kasama Stadium.
It's disappointing because we expected that stadium to have finished within 6 months, but it has dragged on. I don't know how many months it has taken. But thank you. Thanks, because I'm reliably informed that the works are at 69%. We hope to have it finished by the end of the year. Coming from the government, we can't work hand in hand with the provincial first chairperson.
Northern Province First Chairperson Masaka Pyanga reaffirmed the association's commitment to be innovative.
We really want to make sure we set up a professional template, one which others, even after our time, of course won't be in office forever, even after our time may build on. Our policy as an executive in Northern Province is to make sure that we are innovative and try in whatever effort to make sure that that our boys and girls are not left behind because we are here for the players.
And FAS President Andrew Kamanga was represented by Collins Mkwaya.
We are proud of the efforts that the Northern Province has made in organizing an event of this magnitude. In a way, these are some of the expected benefits of decentralization for the provincial leadership to undertake.
Mozo, aka Alfonso, and other artists spiced up the ceremony with performances. Helen Bwalia for Zanis in Kasama, Northern Province.
That item from Kasama brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. Government committed to enhance bilateral relations with Tanzania. 2.7 million kwacha dispersed to 20 individuals, business groups in Kasama's central constituency. Parents challenged to educate children on self-control. Vice President officiates at a friendly match of the Copper Queens against Tanzania. That's all we could package. On behalf of the entire production team, this has been Michelle Lubinda. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, it's bye-bye and God bless.